In this lesson, I want to share a few common traps I've seen founders fall into again and again. If you spot one, pause and recalibrate. Echo chamber validation. Let's start with a classic. You validated your idea, but who did you actually talk to? If that was mostly a co founder, a few friends, or people who have nothing to do with the target user, that is not real feedback. It is great to have support, but it can't be your one and only input. If your SWOT or your canvas is built entirely on these internal voices, unfortunately you are building a castle on soft sand. While you are in this program, take advantage of it. Use this cohort. Share your project with other residents. Ask hard questions. Listen carefully to what people outside your circle actually hear and feel. Multiple business models on one canvas. This one is easy to spot. Sometimes I see canvases like this: three different types of users, four revenue streams, five GTM channels. You look at it, and instead of clear business, it is a buffet of options. Now I get the instinct. You are exploring, you are exciting, but trying to validate five things at once usually means you won't validate any of them well. So for now, simplify. Pick one user type, one clear value proposition, one simple way to make money. That is a game. You can always expand once you've nailed the basics. Overbuilding before validation. This is another classic. A founder spends 6 months, sometimes 12 or even more, building the perfect version of their product. Then, finally, they talk to real users and realize they've missed the mark. Here's the smart approach: validate fast, ship something simple, learn early, then build what actually sticks. If your canvas requires a huge, heavy product before you can run your first useful test, that is a huge red flag. Use this moment to simplify the model and find the fastest path to something useful. The next trap creeps in quietly, but it's dangerous. It shows up in cost structures and hiring plans that assume you already found product market fit, even though you haven't yet. Don't model for revenue lines, 10 salespeople, and a global operation when you haven't proven a single repeatable sale. Let's stay grounded. Until you validated a real use case, focus your costs and energy on getting there. Keep things lean. That is how you stay in game long enough to win. Finally, the last one: being on different pages with your team. If your co-founders don't share the same understanding of your SWOT, your canvas, or your current reality, conflict is waiting around the corner. Alignment is essential. Use these tools to sync with your team. Walk through them together. Ask, where do we agree? Where do we see things differently? And how will we decide when the data isn't clear? This is how you avoid chaos, by building shared reality and plans now and speaking the shared language. All right, let's zoom out for a second. Day one was about picking one idea and getting clear on what problem you're solving and for whom. Today was about taking that idea and turning it into a real working model. Here's what you did: you reviewed your interviews and started to separate polite notes from genuine signals of need. You ran a quick but honest SWOT analysis to look at where you stand and what is changing around you. You sketched your business in blocks using the business model canvas, and you probably noticed where your story makes sense and where it still feels a little shaky. Now, your next task is this, the one pager. Think of this as the shortest, sharpest version of your startup story. Something you could send to an investor, a mentor, or a future teammate, and they'd get in 2 minutes what you are doing, for whom, why now, and what the model looks like. Here is a structure you can follow. You don't have to stick to it word for word, but it is a solid starting point. First, problems and context. Start with the pain. 1 or 2 sentences. What is the real situation your user is in? And when you describe it, try to use the actual words you heard during your interviews. That is what makes it land. Next, solution and value proposition. Bring back your mission sentence. Then add a short, clear line that explains what your product actually does. Make it real. What changes for the user once they start using it. Third, target customer. Who are you really building for? Be specific. Not everyone with a job or all small businesses. Say it like you'd explain it to a friend. And if there is a group this isn't for, you can say that too. It shows you've made a choice. Fourth, evidence. What did you learn from the interviews? Mention a few clear signals, strong reactions, patterns you saw, early commitments, maybe even a wait list. Keep it grounded. SWOT highlights. Just pick 2-3 strengths or opportunities you are confident about and 2-3 weaknesses or threats you are keeping an eye on. You don't need to list everything. Just show that you've done the work and you are aware of the terrain. And finally, the business model snapshot. How do you plan to make money? Who is paying? What are they paying for? And how often? Add 1 sentence about how you plan to reach your customers, your go-to-market channels, 1 about early stage costs, and 1 about scalability, how the business can grow as the market expands. And if you have a sentence of market size, include that too. It helps frame the opportunity. The point of the one-pager is not to impress with fancy words. It shows you have thought things through and it invites the right kind of questions. Validation isn't about proving your idea is perfect. This step helps you spot weak spots earlier, while there is still time to fix them. That is what gives you the space to build smarter, faster, and with fewer surprises. At this point, you are no longer just bouncing around the idea. You are shaping a real model you can test, improve, and explain. The interviews, the SWOT, the canvas, the one-pager. These are your focus tools. They help you to shape off your business before you start building at full speed. Next up, in day 3, we will take this foundation and figure out what exactly do we build first. How do we know it's working? And what does a realistic, focused roadmap looks like? But for now, take a short break. Then carve out focused time to finish your SWOT, your canvas, and write that one-pager while the thinking's still fresh.